And I'm gonna start this video off with a quick little story time to give you guys a better insight on this concept of ambition without works become anxiety. I remember when I was in elementary school, I had this friend, and I knew this friend my whole life pretty much, but from a distance. They weren't necessarily somebody that was in close proximity, right? And this friend was somebody who was extremely talented, somebody who was very ambitious, and anybody looking from the outside in would quickly assume that this person is destined to be very successful. Fast forward a couple years later, I spoke to this person again, maybe 3 years after high school, and everything that that person had going for them just kind of perished. The scholarships, that type of lifestyle, and just that form of success that was almost promised, it was just no longer a thing. And then at that point, I started to kind of dissect the situation and ask myself, why is it that somebody can nearly be promised or destined a successful life and a career, and it just doesn't come to pass? And then that made me come to the realization that at some point during your journey, ambition without works or ambition without action will become anxiety. When you're somebody that's almost promised a future, promised this form of success, and it does not happen for you, this will eat you alive. It'll put you in a position to not only question your true capabilities, but everything that you've acted on up until this point, because the things that you believed in prior just simply did not work out. So I'll say all that to say that if you're somebody right now that's in a position where you may be ambition driven, where you may be goal driven, and you're not necessarily acting on those things that you know that you're very much so capable of, I think it's time that you wake up and you put some into effect, because if you allow your dreams to die down, at some point it will become anxiety, because this feeling of failure, to me personally, is more of an illusion. When you feel like you failed, you feel like you let yourself down in a sense. But this concept alone really isn't even present. It's just a thought of not necessarily achieving or having the outcome that you may have wanted to have. But you didn't fail. You didn't lose anything. Because you only fail if you decide to give up. You only lose if you decide to stop pursuing or stop working towards something. So this concept or this feeling of just feeling like a failure is more of an illusion, is more of a way to trick your brain into putting yourself in a position to actually quit, to discourage yourself. But you have to be able to overlook that. You have to be able to see it through, because if you do not, then you will remain in that same position because you let the enemy win. But don't let the enemy win. Do not allow the enemy that much power over your life to where something happens and you just don't keep pushing towards the things that you tell yourself you're gonna do. I realize that when you're somebody that lives and you have so much potential and you can't even complete or accomplish half of the things that the world set out on you, you look back at yourself like, what's wrong with me? You look back at yourself like, what totally happened in my life to where I just really cannot live up to the standards and expectations that everyone else put on me? And that really made me realize that it's not even necessarily about what you can and you can't do. It's more so about the way that you program your mind to the concept of failure, to the concept of loss. Because if you're somebody that's faced with some form of failure or some form of loss, and you don't know how to take this in, you don't know how to fully digest this version of failure that you may be dealing with, you put yourself in a position to jeopardize everything that you may have worked for or everything that you may have planned for yourself. It does not matter who you are during your journey, you will face something that makes you question your true capabilities. But at this point, it shouldn't be something that tears you down. It shouldn't be something that discourages you. It should be something that really does build you up and motivate you, because you see that, we're just going to tie it into the devil, but you see that the devil is trying to bring you down. You see that the devil is trying to really just make you backtrack, but you have your mind so set on the future and what's to come for you that it doesn't matter what you face or what you go through at this very moment. You're going to keep your eyes locked on the prize. You're going to keep your eyes locked on the things that you know that God has in store for you. But just that form of ambition that you have, just that drive that you may have always had your entire life, if you do not turn this into something, at some point during your journey, it will become anxiety. And this anxiety will eat you up, because you will feel like a failure. You will feel like somebody that really just didn't live up to the expectations that you were supposed to, live up to. So with that being said, to avoid anything like this happening in your life, I feel like it's very important that we really just do less talking and more acting. When you're somebody that's ambitious, when you're somebody that, have a lot to take care of, the last thing that you want to do is sell yourself short by speaking on something too soon before you can even experience that form of success, or really just putting it out there for the world to potentially jeopardize what you have going on. I know a lot of the times we don't realize how much our environment or the people that we have around has an impact on what's going on in our lives firsthand, but I'm here to tell you today that it really is just that. Like, the people that you have around you, your environment, all of those things plays a huge impact on your overall success. I speak on this at least once, a week for sure, but pretty often in my videos. But we have to just be very intentional with not only who we're choosing to spend our time around, but just the people that we're allowing to share our dreams and our goals with. Not everybody clapping is rooting for you. Not everybody clapping really wants to see you win and really wants to see you reach that point of success. And I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but at some point, if you do not start holding yourself accountable, you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that you've wasted so much time and it's nearly too late. And I'm not a huge advocate on the concept of you necessarily running out of time, because I believe that anybody at any point can wake up and decide to change the course of their lives. But I do believe that at some point, opportunities do run out. Opportunities will change. Time will change. Things will shift in your environment and around you, and certain doors just may not be open no more. I'm 25 years old. I can't just go apply for the NBA or whatever. I'm late. The ball had already stopped rolling for me. So at this point, that was just an example, but it just comes to show that while you're in the position to change the course of your life, and while you're in a position to really stand on, your ambitions or your dreams or your goals, this is when you need to do it most. Do not wait until you're somebody that's in your 40s or 50s where you finally have that wake-up call and you try to make those adjustments, really, when it's just too late. And I feel like that's so many people's biggest problems, is they just wait till it's too late. They wait until that anxiety comes. They wait until that feeling of feeling like a failure comes. They wait until the entire world has completely moved on from them to finally just say, like, man, now's the time to really lock in and to do something with my life. But I don't know about y'all, that feeling of feeling like a failure, that feeling of feeling like you let your family down and you let yourself down, is probably one of the biggest things in life that I just don't think that I could possibly deal with. I cannot deal with waking up at 50 years old like, what did I do with the time? I've sat here and I've wasted 50 years of my life and I've accomplished nothing. I don't have anything to show for it. I don't own houses. I don't have nothing. And really, just to avoid being put in this position, we just got to start moving different. Because I'm telling you right now, everything that we want to do, the opportunities that we see around us, the people that are growing at progressive rates, this is 100% possible for us too. The people that you see around you making millions of dollars, the inspirers, the content creators, the people that's just really out here just being high achievers, they'll tell you, I started in your shoes, or I was somebody who didn't have nothing. I was somebody who didn't necessarily have the blueprint. I just put in the work, and then at some point it paid off. So at some point during your journey, if you allow yourself to work hard enough, if you allow yourself to be consistent enough, and that's really the key thing, is just consistency. Being able to wake up and do things even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't have the energy, even when you feel drained, but it's so a part of you, it's so a part of your character that you would feel completely off not waking up and working towards something. I've gotten to the point in my life where if I have a day where I'm not doing anything productive at all, just kind of just hanging out and just going with the flow, I really feel off. If I'm not waking up making these videos for y'all, or if I'm not going to the gym, or if I'm not going on hikes, or if I'm not building myself up in one way, shape, or form, then I would really just feel completely thrown off, because I've allowed it to become a part of who I am. So when I stop doing it, or when I have a moment where I may not necessarily do all the things that I say I was going to do, I just feel off. This is how much you want your lifestyle and that form of success and that ambition to become a part of who you are at heart. When it represents you, it's going to feel strange when you are no longer doing those things. So really just take that into account as you go through your day-to-day, understanding that if you allow this form of ambition to sit, eventually over time it will become anxiety. It'll be something that stresses you out because your mind is going to continue to race at 100 miles per hour, and you're just sitting in the same spot, not making any progress whatsoever. But for people that are really goal driven, for people that are really out here trying to chase your dreams, you have to just keep in mind that you're going to have your low moments, but you just have to keep going, keep pushing forward, because this feeling of failure, to me personally, is more of an illusion. When you feel like you failed, you feel like you let yourself down in a sense. But this concept alone really isn't even present. It's just a thought of not necessarily achieving or having the outcome that you may have wanted to have. But you didn't fail. You didn't lose anything. Because you only fail if you decide to give up. You only lose if you decide to stop pursuing or stop working towards something. So this concept or this feeling of just feeling like a failure is more of an illusion, is more of a way to trick your brain into putting yourself in a position to actually quit, to discourage yourself. But you have to be able to overlook that. You have to be able to see it through, because if you do not, then you will remain in that same position because you let the enemy win. But don't let the enemy win. Do not allow the enemy that much power over your life to where something happens and you just don't keep pushing towards the things that you tell yourself you're going to do. You have work to do. You have goals to achieve. You have a family to take care of, and you shouldn't let anything get in the way of that by any means necessary. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.